Hola, señorita. Or senor, whatever you prefer. I'm KingJGrim, or to you, whatever you want me to be. Love is definitely something difficult to explain, and everyone kind of goes through something different around this topic. And some people haven't even experienced it yet. But do not worry, my friend. Eventually, you will. So I thought about being original by making a countdown of top 7 romance stories or, couples in video games. Now, love, as I've just said, is almost impossible to explain, and there are several different types of love stories in this type of entertainment. So, in this list of top 7 love stories in video games, I chose the ones that was the most lighthearted, comedic, realistic, and a bit painful, at least for me. Hit it, Buble.
You're everything. You're every song.
Way to kick off the list with a Latino police officer and a raccoon thief. So, Sly's a thief from the infamous family, the Coopers, who sadly isn't around anymore as Sly's parents were brutally murdered by the mechanical owl Clockwork, who, by the way, is intimidating as F.
Amount of time before he puts them back together, and when that happens, well, I'm not gonna let that happen.
As Sly was only a young boy at the time of his parents' death, he was sent to an orphanage where he met his future gang, Bentley, who would eventually become the brain of the operations, and Murray, who would eventually become the muscle. Anyway, as he experienced the murder of his family at a young age, he wanted to not become like that kind of criminal, but a classy one. And that is where the love interest comes in. Now, I will admit that the relationship between Sly and Carmelita is weak in the first game, but from the second game and after that, the writers knew what the hell they were doing. And the reason it's such a good love story is mainly because you have no idea where they're going with those feelings. They are clearly aware of their emotions towards each other, yet Carmelita is hell-bent on capturing Sly and give him the majestic justice. Yet as the gang and Sly understands that, Sly still saves her on several occasions where her life could be in danger, even if it would make problems later during Bentley's plans.
I hope you realize that by saving Carmelita, we're only making our operation here more difficult.
Maybe so, but what's the fun in stealing if there's nobody trying to catch you? Besides, she's helped us out in the past.
That, and you've got a thing for her.
And I've got a thing for her. Look, I'll stash this boat. It might be useful for later. You stay out of trouble.
Plus, they always end up fighting the main bad guys together. Well, except the 4th game, but that final boss was bad. Anywho, what really makes this relationship click with me is just all the comedy included with those two. I mean, in the 3rd game, the boss during one of the chapters are Carmelita, who's been possessed by an ancient evil entity. After destroying the mask, Sly stays with Carmelita's side while she's unconscious. But since Sly and his friends are completely childish, they do this.
A real source of entertainment as we took turns posing. Didn't want her to go home empty-handed.
These games are peppered with those clips, and I freaking love it, as it shows the more lightheartedness of a relationship while being in totally different positions. And when Carmelita finally captures Sly, what does she do? She plays towards his amnesia and calls him her partner instead of her prisoner. I think this was absolutely beautiful done, and this is without a doubt extremely illegal, which shows just how much she loves him. Gold in my book. Plus the scene made me jump up in happiness when I was younger and played it for my first time.
You're everything. You're every song.
I've heard a lot about people's experiences with this game, and people have their favorite route to follow on the love department. While some just say, screw that, I want all the beaches and shores. But I think that all of the relationships you can create in this game are so legit. They're extremely realistic, and that's what makes me love this game so darn much. Every character in this game have, real life problems, which I'm sure someone out there can relate with. Living up to family expectations, scared of being rejected because of the way you are, feeling pressured by your sex, feeling useless when you are alone, and so much more. I always ended up with Naoto Shirogane, The reason for that is that she was probably the loneliest person in the investigation team, being a real-life detective because of nepotism, and hiding your gender so that people will have just some ounce of respect for you when they already dislike you because of your age. Harsh. And then she meets the investigation team and opens up after being saved by them. And when you go through the social link with her, you are the one that makes her act her age again, which she seemed to want. And the fact that she truly opens up to you and, shows you herself as a girl. Now, during the game, that was huge if you were as invested as I was, and it truly made me happy to see that. Plus, she's kind of a stalker, which just shows how much she values her first relationship, which she seems to be deadly scared of losing.
You're everything. You're every song.
Dragon Age Inquisition. Thank you, BioWare, for making up for the terror called Dragon Age 2. Anyway, as all of BioWare's RPGs, you can follow a romantic route of your preference. Now, I have not seen many people mention this route yet, so I want all of you to understand that I chose to put this on my list because I could see myself so much in one of the characters that you could romance, and that was our self-loving Dorian. This guy has definitely been through some crap, and he does what every individual should do. Just give a shit-eating grin and keep your own bull to yourself and only share it with those you can trust the most. A perfectionistic family that only cares about reputation, economy and legacy, who wants to change the homosexual Dorian against his will because he was just that, homosexual. And like so many people who's been through a lot, he became a narcissist, making it out to that he is a perfect individual that his family wanted him to be, because when you grow up in a family like that, you will be conditioned to believe that every individual in this world wants you to be a certain way. But when he meets the Inquisitor, he starts opening up, and like a narcissist, when something goes too deep, he snaps. The game is still rather new, and there are a ton of scenes that I absolutely love about Dorian as a character, but let's just go to the relationship between the Inquisitor and himself. They start out with friendly banter. Dorian thinks highly of himself, and the Inquisitor just plays along for the fun of it. As this continues, Dorian starts getting in trouble with his family, and as the Inquisitor and a friend, the main character wants to help. But if there is one thing you need to understand about narcissists, they hate being in debt to others, as they feel it can be used as blackmails or, any other selfish purpose against them. But the Inquisitor shows Dorian that he does it because he is his friend. This shows Dorian that there are good, selfless people out there. This hit me so deep that I almost considered becoming gay myself. But I guess you have to be born that way or something. I've never been good with the homosexuality or heterosexuality or even bisexuality of people. I only focus on the relationships between two individuals. And the Inquisitor and Dorian are really good, as Dorian in some sense need the Inquisitor, which a narcissist never want to believe at first that they need someone, but eventually might learn.
You're everything. You're every song.
Is there really anything I can say about Shadow of the Colossus that hasn't been said yet? Well, it's good, I suppose, but what I really like about the game is the love story, but not because of it so lovey-dovey or cute or whatever, but because I did not see an ounce of love during this game, more of an obsession. And that is something you can think about for a while. Are you in love with someone? Or just obsessed by them? Because if you do all those horrible things that Wander does to bring Mono back, then one are allowed to question your motives. Sure, you can say that love can make you sacrifice a lot, even your life, but Wander doesn't give his own life force or whatever to bring her back. He starts killing colossi, I don't know, beings that doesn't seem to be evil or dangerous. After all, they only keep to themselves. And yet Wander arrives and brutally slaughters them to get his love back from the grave. This is not a good hero. He is selfish and to some extent inhuman. And what I found hilarious, realistic. Imagine if you could bring someone you loved more than life back from the dead. Back from death, back from the grave, and you only had to murder a few souls to get them back. While many people would say no just to look nice, I can bet that a huge percentage would do it. And that is what I adore about this, I don't really know if I should call it relationship or motive, but how far are you willing to go to save someone you love? And this game nails it down, plus the depressing ending does not disappoint.
You're everything. your every song.
This game, this story, all of these characters, I love it all! Grim Fandango is an adventure game made by LucasArts. Now, I won't talk too much about this game since I want to make a separate video in the near future about it, but what I will say is that Manny Calavera and Mercedes Meche Colomar is fantastic together, and they don't start out liking each other, as Manny tries to use her to get out of limbo, and Meche obviously doesn't like how everything turned out for her because of him. I want to say more, but I'd rather wait for the future video. I hope you can understand.
Guess they couldn't save me, huh?
No, but there's still a chance you could save me.
You're everything. You're every song.
If there's one thing I can admit, then it's the fact that I'm a huge Fire Emblem fan. My first one being Rekka no Ken, or the one with Lyn, as many have been saying. And after that, I made sure that I got every other one after that game. And then Fire Emblem Awakening came out, and wow! I love this game so much. I will say that this is my favorite game on the 3DS. Anyway, at the beginning of the game you can make your own character, which I love in games by the way, and the story truly goes around this tactician. It starts with said tactician, which we will just call Robin since it is canon, waking up on a field with no memory and found by Chrom, the Prince of Elise. She quickly joins the prince's group, who are called the Shepherds, as their tactician, and trouble ensues. Now, a lot of people call this game Waifu Emblem, since you can get together with whoever you like, even the Mad King Gangrel, who shares my birthday.
How in blazes did you get me to bluff you? If you're trying to make a new man of me, it's working.
Ugh. Anyway, people follow who they feel strongest emotions for, so why did I choose female Robin and Chrom? Well, we have to go a bit into the story for this one. The whole theme for this game is that everything is written in the future, and that no matter what you do, you will never be able to break the chain called destiny. And if you follow the romance route with Chrom, you will get some major crap thrown your way because of this theme. Major spoilers alert, by the way. You can see right below right now where you should fast forward to end of spoiler. In the future, you are the one who kills Chrom, albeit against your will, and because of his death, Robin becomes the gruesome dragon called Grima, the ender of the world. Because of this catastrophe, a young girl called Lucina goes back from the future to save her father from that doom, though she doesn't know that it was her mother who is the catalyst for the end of times. This creates some major depressing scenes in this game, and when they learn the fact that the only way to truly kill Grima is to have Robin do it, but at the cost of her own life? Jesus! I absolutely love this romance because it has comedy, realistic characters as they are very, 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 very well written, depressing future, and a lot of trust for each other. Plus, Lucina as a daughter is pretty badass.
How can you protect Chrom if you can't protect yourself?
Wow, I guess she's the kind of tough mother.
You're everything. You're every song.
Wow, I have never felt so strongly for a fictional couple than I do for Commander Shepard and Talizora Vas Normandy. 3 games with all of these characters, and these two was absolutely adorable together. And the main reason because of that is how Tali looks so much up to Shepard. And no, I'm not saying that every man only wants a woman that looks up to him, but it works so well here, because if you always choose the Paragon stuff with Shepard, he will never see himself as a special individual, and he doesn't particularly like how people call him their only hope. And while the crew seem to understand that, Tali still looks up to him so much. Even in the second game, she never lost faith in him as he was working with Cerberus. Even after they've been together for so long, she still questions if she is good enough to be with him, but he always tells her that she is all he wants. The only thing she would put in front of Shepard is her race and his future, and I love it. She could have lost everything, but Shepard was always there to help her, and when Shepard always questioned himself, she was always there to help him. And when this scene shows up,
Here, take her.
Shepard!
You gotta get out of here.
I can't stay behind.
Don't argue with me, Tali.
Don't leave me behind.
I need you to make it out of here alive, Tali. Get back to Rannig. Build yourself a home.
I have a home. Come back to me.
they both know what will probably happen, and it makes me so happy how well written all of these characters are. And she, with Garrus and Joker, was always there since the beginning of the journey to stop the Reapers, and because of Shepard, only he had to be the one that left the stage earlier. And that's my top 7 romance stories in video games. Now, love is fantastic, and you should always spread it. Now, in some sense, I'm giving my love to other people through my videos, and I will continue doing so, as finally the February month of all the birthdays in my family is finally finished. Jesus. Anyway, I'm KingJGrim, or the King of Games, whatever you prefer. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching, guys. It means a lot to me. I know it's a few days after Valentine's, but it's never too late for love. And you can show your love by pushing the like button down there. Subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw, or push one of the videos to the right there to see some of my other videos to make up your mind on if you should subscribe. I recommend the upper one the most. Finally, I've gotten Twitter, so that you guys can get updates much better than YouTube can give them. Though I'm kinda new to the whole Twitter thing, so excuse me for some noobery in that social media. You can find the, you can push the Twitter icon here on the screen, or you can go to the link below and push it there. And there you can follow me, because tweet! Okay, that was stupid. Anyway, see you guys later.